Hello guys, this is BehemothNL here, and this is the KV-1S. I'm tuned up with Old Man 50 of SDT82. And Old Man 50 had some questions about the KV-1 and the KV-1S, so the Russian heavy tanks in particular. So I'm just showing him some tips and tricks and stuff that he should absolutely not do. And of course I'm no expert at the KV-1S, the KV-1 or any other tank in the game, but I can show him some neat tricks. And this game just packs out like a really good game. Of course, the last time I explained something to I don't remember what it was, but it was the American medium tanks, and I showed him how to play the M4A3E8, otherwise known as the EZ8 German. And then I had a pretty amazing game as well, but that KV-1S wants to come out, and I set him on fire immediately because KV-1S's get set on fire really easily. And the Panzer IV besides me sets him on fire again, not before taking one shot to the face, which you should never ever actually do. If you can prevent yourself from taking a shot to the face, then you should absolutely shoot. And that gave one just fired, so just gonna aim very carefully. I know that my reload is quicker than his, and right when my reload finishes, or when I'm done shooting, I quickly pop back into cover, because I don't want to get shot in the face. And that's a very quick shot through the wheels, or front wheels of the KV-1S. Not of course before bouncing one shot, which was very unfortunate. The shot just went a little low and hit his horizontal plate, not the plate that you can actually really reliably hit. I will show you now. But normally you want to shoot a KV-1 right here, or better here, on a slow plate. But I actually shot him right on this plate forward, and that's just extreme angle, and then it just will bounce, and then again to here with very low penetration, and it just bounce again. So there you have one entire bounce mark on the front of your tank, and you just ask yourself, why did I bounce? Because you actually hit it on this little stretch, which is at an extreme angle, and you just bounce. And of course after a bounce you will have less of a penetration. So just moving a little bit forward, he bounces on me and I bounce on him, so we just traded bounces. Just keeping one eye on that Hellcat because he might be in trouble, and I spot on the minimap that there's a KV-1S in the back. So I protect in the rear of Old Man, of my body KV-1S, and just deal with the KV-1S in front of me. I know that I can take a enemy KV-1S one-on-one, very pretty good. And oh, that's amazing, because when I said it, that's actually the bounce mark that I was talking about. He shot me right here, and that bounced just into my upper plate with less penetration, and that just leaves one entire big bounce mark. Yes, it did hit my driver's hatch, but it had that low of penetration that it just bounced, and then even hit the the plate of my turret. The turret ring it almost hit, but it hit with so less penetration that it just ricocheted off, or just didn't do anything, because it bounced from here to here into the lower plate of the lower structure of the turret, and just had that less penetration that it just bounced off. No problem for me. So now I'm just going to annoy this KV-1S, try to go around him. I tracked him, so now I'm just gonna offset his aim, and while he's trying to get a good shot on me, I just set my aims towards his upper plate and easily deal with him. Now that 3080 is not as big of a threat because he bounces me quite a lot, so I'm just focusing on this KV-1S or this KV-1, and I set him on fire, which is good. But then the 3080 does penetrate me, so now that shows me that he finally has a spot that he can reliably penetrate me on. So we quickly take care of him. He's all the way in the open, so we just shoot him. And he was actually using gold, because you can see that in the left he was using premium ammo. And that's one mod of Locastan's Modpack. Link of that is always in the description. Panzer 4, and I didn't risk the shot because I really need to reload 13.5 seconds. And with the accuracy of the KV-1S, it's not that good. So I'm just gonna push on this Hellcat, being really aggressive. Of course, track him first, so he will be scared. Yes, that was a poor shot. But right now I was surrounded. I knew I was surrounded by the KV-1 and the Hellcat and the Panzer 4, and I have no idea where the Panzer SFL is. And the KV-1 is in my rear, and he quickly disposes of me, which is very unfortunate. I did my best, but being aggressive against the Hellcat was my downfall. I really shouldn't have used my repair kit, because, well, I was in a pretty good spot and he was already retreating. So by the time I was actually near him, he actually just was reloaded and could take a big shot at my health pool. He could actually possibly one-shot me. He did 239 damage, but I think he could do the remaining 265 damage. He could potentially do but well, he didn't, and luckily for that, I had some health remaining, and the Bishop really has a good shot on the Panzer 4, so he quickly disposes of him. So now I'm switching back to the Hellcat, and the Hellcat can potentially just kill the KV-1 with one shot, but he is capping, so he should just stay in the cap. And the VK 3002M should be able to one shot the KV-1 as well, but capping is more important right now because they need to let the enemy come to them. But there was only one KV-1 remaining, so that really shouldn't matter all that much. But hey, we won either way. So that was the KV-1S, and let's see how well I actually did. Because yes, 3 kills and I died, but I also hit quite a lot of targets. So let's see. And we actually did very well. Because of the amount of damage that we did, we actually got a lot of credits and a lot of experience. We almost got 3,696, or almost. We actually had 3,696 experience, which is very good. Of course, I do have a premium account, and it was my daily double for the KV-1S, but that still leaves with a fairly good amount of base experience left, which we will just look at just in a moment. First, the targets that I shot at and actually did damage to were actually the big threats of the enemy team, the enemy KV-1Ss, and the enemy Hellcat, and the enemy KV-1 that was still left alive at the end of the game. And of course the Marder 3080, but he actually was kind of annoying. So looking at the team scores, we actually got quite fairly ahead on top. 1232 base experience, which is a whole lot. Of course, anything above 900 is a very good base score for you. The low, or the second best of my team, was actually the Stuk 3, which scored almost 600, which is half of what I earned. So you figure out that it was kind of a good game. And maybe if I wasn't in the game that we might have lost, and well, who knows, you never know if it doesn't actually happen. So it was a very good game. Looking at the detailed report, we fired 11 shots, we hit 11 shots, but we penetrated 9 of them. Of course, one was the bounce of the KV-1 and the other was on the KV-1S, especially that part of the play that I showed you guys, which is a bit annoying, but of course with the Russian guns you can never be that accurate, and I was just unlucky. So if you guys ever face the KV-1 or the KV-1S or the KV-2 for that matter, because that tank has the same hull as the other guys, never shoot for that middle structure. Always go for the lower plate, or if you have absolutely certain that you can hit, just the driver's hatch, because those two parts are the weakest on the KV-1 series. KV-1, KV-1S and KV-2. So that was a very good game, and tomorrow I will be back with another episode of Behemoth's Beneficial Daily Doubles. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it, because it's just a kind of a live commentary, me trying to get my daily doubles on 2 tanks. And sometimes it works out for the better, and sometimes I actually kinda suck. But then I explain why I suck, because you will always learn from you sucking more than you actually doing amazingly. So, here was the Behemoth, and I will see you guys next time.